So we've discussed the drivers of hourly worker turnover, and we've talked about the importance of the schedule. Now let's dive into what workers really want out of their schedule. Frank, you touched on a big one earlier, which is predictability. Why don't you expand upon that? Why do workers value that so much?
Well, let me tell you a trend that's been happening, that I've seen happening over the last 25 years that I've been working with companies, and that is this reduced amount of predictability. As we've seen just-in-time show up and things like lean manufacturing, which have basically removed a lot of the warehouses, a lot of the extra ability for companies to flex up and flex down to meet demand, they're doing things more and more just in time.
Right.
What that means is I'm not starting to fill the order until the customer actually places the order. So I have to be able to flex up and down, which is fine with machines. I can turn them on, I can turn them off, but somebody has to run those machines. And that means people are having to flex up and flex down. And I can't tell you how many plants I've been to in the last couple of years where the schedule is Monday through Friday, every weekend off, right? Sounds great. That's what my dad did. Great. Well, the reality is, if we don't have enough orders this week, I might let you go on Thursday. So don't come to work Friday. Or halfway through Friday, you might show up and I'll pay you for an hour, but see you later, right? And then on the other side of the coin, if there's too many orders, hey, we're working Saturday, and maybe we're working Sunday. And by the way, we're going to be doing a 12-hour shift on Saturday. When do you find out? How about Thursday? So I'm telling you Thursday, whether you're working this weekend or not. Can you imagine your whole life, which is basically your time off is what you build your life around, your weekends, you don't know if you're getting the weekend off until Thursday. Or if you're the graveyard worker, you may not find out till Friday, Thursday night, Friday morning. You've got less than 24 hours notice to find out if you got any time off. How do I connect that with my family, with my friends? It's impossible. I can tell you right now, today, tens, if not hundreds of thousands of workers around the world are dealing with that exact problem. Are inventories going to come back and fix that? No. But we got to change the game on predictability, and that's going to dramatically increase retention. And also, by the way, save money in your bottom line because it costs you to flex your workforce up and down.
For sure. So in a world where consistency is getting less, just that whole notion of being able to forecast out your needs and being able to communicate when people need to work is kind of where everything's headed.
Yeah, and I think so. And it's interesting when you say the word forecasting, because a lot of people would say, well, if marketing could just forecast it more, or if the sales department could give us better predictions. I got to tell you, that's not getting any better. It's going to get worse. And why is it getting worse? Not because the sales department or the forecasters are doing a worse job, is because the customer is demanding more and more just in time, not less. Right? We're going to have to be flexible, and companies are going to have to continue to increase flexibility. But the way we have to do it is we got to rethink those rules on how people work, on the schedule, right? How are we going to flex our workforce up and down? Are we just going to flex onto Saturdays? Are we just going to flex into the night? Or are there other ways in which we can flex the workforce so I can at least guarantee a weekend off? Maybe not every weekend, but maybe I can get a 3-day break that I know is coming once a month. Well, that's better than having none, right?
Sure.
And how can we make that every weekend or more than that?
And we see that in hard good manufacturers, but you also see that even more so in a lot of service sector businesses.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Well, another one that we hear a lot about from our clients and their employees is about worker flexibility. And with worker flexibility, in terms of work schedule flexibility, I think what employees are really looking for is the option of one, is being able to have some sort of impact on the schedule before it gets created, like I can't work next Tuesday, right? I need to take my child to the doctor's office or something like that. So be able to kind of block out some time or set some preferences to their schedule. And flexibility also has to do with once the schedule is published, do I have the ability to be able to swap out of a shift or trade a shift because now I figured out that I can't really work. What are you hearing around schedule flexibility?
Oh, it's a great thing to have out there. People love it. A lot of people don't have it, by the way. So for some people, when you explain the term schedule flexibility, it doesn't even make sense to them because they can't see it. But there are whole industries that do have it. I know you guys, some of your early history has been in helping out with swap boards and those type of things. And I think that's critical. The ability to be able to flex my schedule when I want, but it has to, of course, businesses are not in business to make me work when I want to work. It has to meet the business needs. But as long as we can understand what those business needs are and what those parameters are, absolutely, why shouldn't I be allowed to work a 4-hour shift, maybe today, and tomorrow I'll work a 12-hour shift, if that fits in with a style, and somebody else can fill in the other gaps with the right skills and everything else. It was a lot harder before. With technology today, we can make those rules, and the technology can answer to those rules.
One of the things we talked about earlier was fairness. around pay, around schedules, the whole notion of employees wanting transparency when it comes to the work schedule. What do employees want in regards to transparency?
I think employees absolutely want transparency. They want to make sure, and it's really more, I want to make sure I'm getting a fair shake, right? The grass is always greener on the other side. Somebody's always getting a better deal. That's just human nature. That's just the way I feel. But I want to, if there's some way for me to see that, oh yeah, you got this weekend off, but you did have to work last weekend, or then I think it's a little bit more fair. Now you might have more days off, but you are working more hours, right? Or some sort of thing like that. Or maybe it's because of your seniority level, but at least I can see that there's a tunnel ahead and I'm getting to the end of the tunnel. But when I don't have that transparency, again, I'm always going to fear the worst. The grass is always greener. He's getting something over on me, and that makes it unfair. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Certainly, I think hourly workers are definitely willing to chip in, right? They just like any employee, they want the company to succeed, and they're willing to do their part. They just want to make sure that the burden isn't put on them where it's not being put equally among everybody else. To your point, right? That they're the ones always being asked to work on that Saturday shift, and they start questioning whether it's like, hey, I don't mind working Saturday shifts, but I don't want to work every Saturday shift just to cover things.
And they often can't see it. They're out on the plant. I'm working in the warehouse. I don't have the touch on the front office. I don't see what's going on. It's harder for me to see the whole role as how we fit into the whole plant. I'm working on the graveyard shift, and I don't come in until the managers are gone, and in the morning they want to talk to me, but I just want to go home to go to bed.
Right.
So, how do those people really, stay tied in with what's going on? And giving them any kind of visibility is going to help, engagement is important, is going to help with their excitement about being part of the company. And I do believe most people want to do a good job for their company. They don't want their companies to fail.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Are there other must-haves from a worker standpoint in terms of their schedule?
There's a lot of little pieces, but I think we kind of covered them with predictability, flexibility. Time off is a big one, right? Having time off that is real time off. Yeah, having time off in the middle of the night may not be the best, but really nice breaks that fit in with a family and social life. Vacation's an important one. We had a client last year where instead of actually giving people vacation in the way normally you pick and you get time off, they said, well, you know what? We're going to give everybody their vacation pay in April. And so everybody would get this big check at April, which is all their vacation pay, 2, 3 weeks, whatever, you got this big lump sum. And then when you wanted to take vacation, no problem, you schedule it, but you're going to go on vacation without pay because we paid you in April. Do you have any people in that plant take vacation?
Very few.
Nobody. I can't afford to take time off.
Right.
What about vacation we paid in April? That's a bonus, right? It was in April. I paid all my expenses. I bought my boat for whatever. I bought whatever I bought, and I have no money. I can't afford to take time off. So because nobody goes on vacation, that plant hates each other. Well, actually, they said how they hate the supervisors. They hate the managers even more, but they hate each other even more than they hate the managers because they're just stuck in that plant. There's no end in sight, and they're never going to get a day off. And every time we start talking about take vacation, I can't afford to do that.
Right.
So
it's a vicious cycle.
And that's a vicious cycle. And that was a rule that was created to kind of be a good deal. Hey, here's a lump sum you can get, guys. Do you want that? And it sounded like a good deal, but there's that law of unintended consequences that can always bite you.